Hey guys, it's Doc, and I'm about to do an interesting video. I think maybe 5 or 10 minutes, could be a little bit more or a little bit less, but it's just some stuff that's true and legit on my mind as I record this on February, let's see, February the 5th, 2016. So I won't go into all of my history in marketing, but I'm old. I'm 52 years old now, and in some form or fashion, even before the internet became big, I was marketing, whether I was selling myself as an executive or selling myself. I was in the investment business for a long time. The important point is that in some way, you always have to sell in this world to put bread on the table. The problem is that the lazier we get in our approach, the more selling becomes about taking advantage of other people as opposed to making your income in a long-term sustainable way by providing value and actually reaching out to help people. So I guess it was 2010 or so, I started really getting serious about internet marketing. Okay, and I'm going to define internet marketing here in a minute in a way that divides it into two different camps. When I first started in internet marketing, I wanted to sell investment advice into a market full of people who would pay for strategies on trading stocks, trading options, that kind of thing. I discovered pretty early on that it was super competitive, and it was hard to rank unless you understood SEO, unless you informed yourself about how to jump above the rest of the crowd that was slinging the same stuff. And so that's kind of when I realized there was a market for internet marketing. In other words, here's the two camps. There's the big, what I call the big camp, which is selling into a niche like people who trade stocks or people who trade options, people who run construction businesses, lawyers. The economy is massive, obviously, and so you can sell what you know about doing things online, whether it be paid traffic, organic traffic, you know, even website design, those kinds of things. You can sell those to this big market, which is people that really don't know anything about online marketing. They just could use your expertise, whether they realize it or not. Or here's the other camp, and it's a small camp, but it's the one that I'm kind of railing against today, and it's the internet marketing camp. Now, that is basically selling to other marketers, and in general, would-be marketers, newbies, people who aren't very far along. They buy pretty much everything they see with very little rationale. They're very responsive to marketers' pitches because they're optimistic. They maybe they want to leave the 9 to 5, or maybe they've lost their job. They're vulnerable in that sense because they hear stories about Lamborghinis and all that fancy stuff, and they want to latch on. They want to find a way to make that kind of money themselves. Well, the truth is, and this is where the rail comes in, right? A lot of those people aren't making money selling into the big market. They're just making their money, the people that are selling to these newbies, they're just making their money selling to newbies in this tiny little insulated, what I call inbred market. And they're making out like they can prepare these people to go out and sell into a big world where all this money really is, but they don't have any experience themselves. So they're regurgitating information they've heard from this or that webinar. Most of it's sloppy. None of it is vetted. None of it's real practical in terms of going out to meet the man and sell to a plumber or what have you. And I'm not leaving the business of communicating with other internet marketers because I think, in the spirit of iron sharpens iron, I learn in masterminds and in Skype groups, all the time from other people who are actually in this business. Sorry about the dog. So in that sense, I want to remain, and I do want to teach other would-be marketers. I do want to recommend, software or plugins that might actually help them sell into this larger market. But what I want to do is develop my business around the overwhelming bulk of my business into selling into that larger market. And if there's a smaller piece of my business that has to do with explaining to other would-be marketers how they sell into this larger market, then that's fine too. What I don't want to do is sit around and interact extensively with people who just want to sell to other would-be marketers. That's not my thing, and I just needed to sort of refine my vision. So let's go through these slides pretty quickly. It's really just a recap of what I've already said. My reason for this is really simple. I've you wind up in Facebook groups and even Skype groups where maybe somebody comes on the scene, and I don't want to name any names, doesn't really matter, right? But somebody comes on the scene and what they've got to say is, oh yeah, I think you can do a lot of local client marketing. Okay, well that's exactly the big market that I'm talking about, right? Tree services or plumbers or lawyers, generating leads for those kinds of guys, putting websites up for them that help them generate their own leads, all that kind of stuff, right? That's the big market that's out there. But then watch these people. They develop a service, and then what's the next thing they do? They start putting together courses for you to buy, which will teach you how to do it. But watch their time, watch where their focus is. What they're doing is spending all of their time developing courses, trolling Facebook, making offers. They begin to sell endless streams of whatever is the latest plugin or course out there. They have these thinly veiled sales webinars where they get on, they tell you how great they are. They spend another 5 minutes telling you just enough of something to tease the offer that they're getting ready to make for the next hour and a half or 2 hours, right? I don't have anything against their strategy, but what I want you to be aware of is these are people who have made the decision to sell into that tiny market, which is selling to other marketers. The big market, which I don't want you to lose sight of, is out there selling to the rest of the world, and there's money out there and it can be done. So here's what my solution is to that. I myself am mastering my personal behaviors. That includes my health and my mindset and the way I organize my day-to-day activities to get into and penetrate this bigger market. I'm going to master even further. I already employ several people. I'm going to master outsourcing so that I can leverage the opportunity to do more business. I'm going to master traffic because you got to drive people to these digital or online properties. And then once they get to those digital online properties, I will have mastered conversion. So I'm going to be thinking in terms of funnels and what have you, but I'm not talking about funnels for marketing products and things like that. I'm talking about, I want to focus on funnels for CPA offers, or how you get somebody involved in local client niches and build a business there. I want I want 90 to 95% of my business to be out in this big market, and then 5 or 10% of the business actually legitimately coming back and spending a little bit of time in these videos or on this website telling you about how I did it. And I know that I'll never monetize very well, but I'm cool with it because I've always liked a little bit, of the sharing and teaching part. So my commitment is, as I do this, and I've been doing it for a little while, but I've still got a lot to learn, and I've really made kind of a 2016 commitment to it. I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell you about where I fail. I'm going to tell you about where I learn, what I learn. I'm going to try to adapt those lessons in a way that you can actually do it yourself. If I find a good tool and it comes with an affiliate offer, I'll tell you about it. But I'm going to use it to tell you about how to go out and sell in the bigger market, not how to become a better marketer to other marketers. And accordingly, periodically I'll do webinars, hangouts, those kinds of things to teach you how to penetrate these niches that, like I said, are outside of selling to other marketers. Anyway, that's my commitment. It's all the slides I've got. I just think it's really important. It's been on my mind a lot. I have so many friends in what we loosely call internet marketing who are spinning their wheels, going from course to course and product to product, and they don't have a real strategy. I know by their questions, that they're getting conflicting advice, not necessarily good advice. They're probably getting advice from people who don't have their best interests at heart, because that's not where their promotional money is. It might not have the best affiliate commission or opportunity, and so, they'll, well, I don't want to, I'm railing at this point, I know, but anyway, that's where my heart is, and I really think it's a solid business strategy. I think it'd be good for all of us. Anyway, it's Friday the 5th of February, and you've put in over 12 minutes of time, I hope, listening to this, and I'll be back. I'll be back on this site and in my YouTube channel with more things that I think you can use to build an actual, real world marketing strategy. I'll talk to you soon.